the cluster of streaming culture. By MattyBallz. Let's like his video. If you enjoy the reaction content, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. We are on the road to 500 subscribers. Let's lock in and let's see what we got.
Live streaming is one of the biggest avenues for content in the world. From creators like Speed performing at the World Cup finals to Kai Cenat hosting Streamer University with some of the biggest people on the internet, live streaming is a pretty big deal these days. But because of all of the hype around streaming, it's also resulted in an environment where some streamers are willing to do anything for views.
I remember when I first was introduced to Twitch and streaming during like the pandemic. During the pandemic, when everybody was like inside or forced to be indoors and everybody was desktop, everybody was either playing games or just, you know what I'm saying, just chatting, talking to chat and stuff like that. You could really see to me, you could see the difference in different creators. Like everybody had a different personality. Everybody had a different niche to them. Everybody interacted with their chat differently. Everything was different for lack of better, not lack of better words, but for lack of more words. Everything was just different. It wasn't so similar. It didn't feel like this forced narrative to, okay, I gotta be an IRL streamer. I gotta do the most egregious, outrageous thing to get my clip popping on TikTok. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. The next creator is doing this event, so I gotta do the similar event, or I gotta do just as big as an event. No, gang, streaming, the thing that drew people to streaming initially before it became so mainstream, like when streaming was generally a niche thing, it was just like, you would find your person that you enjoy seeing them do anything. They could be playing a game, they could be watching a show, they could be reacting to something, anything. But you watch that and you tapped in for just the personality of that streamer. Nowadays, we got everybody want to stream. Everybody wants to be a content creator. Everybody wants to be an IRL streamer, and they're literally doing it just because they want the fame. They want the clips. They want to bump shoulders with the Kai Cenats of the world and the Speeds of the world and shit like that. They're not doing this shit because they're passionate about it. They're doing it because you can literally monetize it, depending on how crazy you're willing to get, depending on like the limit that you're literally willing to take it. You can literally make as much money just doing crazy shit, and that's what people are doing. It's like, to me, I see through all this streaming mainstream thing. People aren't doing it for the love of the game. They're doing it for the love of the check, for the love of the clip, for the love of the clickbait and all that shit, and the clip farming.
Like in filming people without their consent, to committing crimes and even shooting people, streaming culture has become pretty toxic. So today, I wanted to look into the dark side of live streaming. If you've been on the internet throughout the past few years, you've probably noticed the live streaming takeover. However, as fast as the content has grown, it wasn't overnight. Now, I could go super into detail about how streaming got to where it is, but that's all kind of boring, so I'm just gonna brush over it. IRL streaming and stuff like that dates back pretty far, but around then it was only a few guys since the tech wasn't great and vlogs were dominating. And at first, as many of you probably know, gaming was what viewers flocked to. For most viewers, their first experience with live streaming content was probably gaming. And it stayed like that for a while. You know, you had guys like Syndicate, Soda Poppin', and all these other names that flourished during the 2010s. As time progressed, things continued to change and evolve. The just chatting section on Twitch is where people did IRL stuff for a bit, but it was mostly gooner stuff like hot tub streams.
And that's where like literally IRL streaming had a bad stigma, because the only time that you heard about somebody IRL streaming or like literally being in front of a camera that didn't involve a desktop, didn't involve a game, these niggas were doing gooner streams. You know what I'm saying? They were sitting in the hot tub with women, and they had impressionable young men just watching them, just donating and making comments about the women and doing stuff like that. Literally, that's what it was. There was no such thing as okay, I'm going to IRL stream and then I'm going to the World Cup to go watch niggas play soccer. That just wasn't happening. That wasn't happening. Like, people weren't just IRL streaming their regular everyday activities, going shopping, doing this, doing that. No, we were going to set this camera up. We were going to get in the hot tub. We're going to put you in the smallest bikini, and we're going to milk the chat for everything that they're worth. That's ultimately what it was.
Did IRL streams, people like Ice Poseidon. Also around this time, guys like Ninja took the gaming side of things to the next level, hosting Fortnite streams with some of the biggest celebrities in the world and bringing in millions of eyes. I mean, Drake, Travis Scott, and Juju Smith-Schuster all on one squad was pretty crazy.
Drake, every time you get a kill, the entire chat is just saying God's plan.
And for a long time, this was the most popular niche. But under the surface, IRL streams were bubbling up. It started with guys like Aiden Ross and Kai Cenat, who did all sorts of crazy things on their streams, had celebrity guests and things like that. As streaming continued to grow bigger and bigger, it was these
That's not IRL though. Like I'd say Kai didn't even really get into the IRL space. Like if you watch the origin of Kai, he was really doing IRL content, IRL stream type content in his regular YouTube shit where he was going to place in public places doing pranks. Him and Gideon, like them niggas, they was doing shit like that, but it wasn't live streamed. It was YouTube. So then when he started going on a fucking Twitch and shit, Kai originally got his blow up off the stuff that he was doing for desktop, and then he was doing his e-dates, which is also desktop. So like the IRL streaming shit didn't even really take off yet for like even the biggest streamers until like I want to say probably 2023ish, 2024ish, like around that time. That's when you really started to see a upshift in IRL streamers. People wanting to go outside and have a camera following them doing whatever.
And while gaming still does perform pretty well, it became clear that that was no longer the number one. Because of all this hype, innovation was inevitable. You had Speed, the FaZe guys, Kai, Neon, and a multitude of others that grew brands that commanded sponsorships worth hundreds of thousands, sometimes even millions of dollars, which is honestly pretty cool considering where live streaming started. As you guys probably already know, streaming is huge, and alongside podcasting and thanks to TikTok and Instagram Reels, it's one of the biggest content industries there is right now. And I think one thing that really demonstrates how crazy live streaming can get, especially IRL streaming, are subathons. Subathons are a combination of subscription and marathon, where the stream continues if people keep subscribing to your account. You know, if enough people don't subscribe, then the stream ends.
I'm not gonna lie, this video might make me be out the hater, but like this video might make me be out to be a hater. Damn. Like I literally just made a video not too long ago. I gotta wake my tongue up again. Bear with me. But it's just like I'm not hating on this shit, but a subathon, I get why, from the streamer perspective, I get why they do it. But ultimately, like from the viewership perspective, I just can't see how we can make it socially acceptable to, you know what I'm saying? We're literally we're funding your stream. Well, in order for you to keep streaming, in order for you to feel like you have to keep streaming, we have to donate a certain amount. We got to keep pumping money, gang. And it's always the fucking top streamers. You know what I'm saying? It's the streamers that have money. And then I would understand it more if, all right, we're doing a subathon for a charity stream, so all the money that you donate to this stream right here, to this subathon, it goes to here. And I know Kai did some shit like that. I know some other people probably did some shit like that, where it's like a large portion of the subathon revenue is going to charity, is going to be donated, some shit like that. I get that, I understand it, but it's like, gang, when did we as a society become so comfortable with, you know what I'm saying, we're going to sit behind our phone screens, behind our computer screens, and we're not going out and living our everyday life, but we're watching other people, do their, like, live everyday lives. Everything that you want to do, you're watching them do it. And not only are you watching it, gang, you're fucking paying them. You're paying them, you're donating, you're subbing, you're gifting. Like I'm not trying to knock anybody's hustle, but it's just like my mind cannot fathom that. And it's just like, I'm saying this now, but like if I was to be big enough, I most likely would do the same thing. I would make that pivot from not just only doing YouTube. I'd be doing streaming too, and hopefully I could get me some gifteds and stuff like that. But even for the life of me, I gotta be honest, I still don't get it. I like you gotta like, more morally, you would have to understand. Like, even if you're doing it, I'm sure some of the biggest streamers today, they ain't gonna say it out loud because they're not gonna want to shame their chat. They don't want to put logic into their chat's mind. Like, chat, literally, let's sit back and think. Why are y'all gifting me right now? Why are y'all watching me through a screen live my life? Like, y'all don't have anything better to do? And most of the time, that's the answer. A lot of niggas don't have nothing going for themselves, or they're not even attempting to have anything going for themselves. They're living vicariously through their streamer, and that's why they feel like there's no problem. Okay, bro, you talking to girls, you going on dates, you going to this place, doing that, you buying these bags, driving these fancy ass cars. Let me gift you 5 subs. Good job, bro. Let me give you 50 gifts. Let me increase your wealth. Let me add to your wealth. Let me add to your abundance instead of, I'm saying, pouring into themselves. That's just my thing. I don't know.
Big in 2021 who streamed for 31 days straight. So you'd see him on stream sleeping, playing games, watching movies, working out in his garage, and stuff like that. He was always on camera. except for when he went to the bathroom. But subathons can vary quite a bit, with some going on for days as long as the fans keep subscribing or donating. And in some cases, like with Kai Cenat's Mafia-thon, for a month straight, uninterrupted, no breaks, no sleep, and mostly no privacy.
Miles, can you tell me what motivates you, or who motivates you? Your mom, nigga. Shout out to Kudos. Thanks for the bits. Those smell amazing.
You sound like a...
No, I'm from the suburbs.
The difference between Ludwig's subathon and Kai's is the scale. We went from mostly gaming and just chilling a bit to now having tons of celebrities like Kevin Hart and Drewski guest starring, tons of other streamers, and all sorts of crazy things going on. I think the best comparison is like it's a modern day iCarly. That's really what it feels like. And with Kai Cenat raising the bar so high, there have been a ton of other streamers that are attempting to match the viral content that he's putting out.
And they won't. And they won't, like you just said. This nigga shit is like kind of surpassed. Like when niggas think about Kai Cenat and his streams, I don't even see his shit as streams no more. His shit is pretty, like he's elevated that realm. His shit is productions. The only thing is he's not broadcasting it on TV because the eyes and the masses, we don't watch TV no more. We don't tune into televisions like that. Niggas don't even people don't even watch cable. Everybody's on streaming services, streaming platforms and shit like that. So what is he's doing is he's creating these projects, these broadcasting events, and he's just the platform that he just so happened to be putting it on is Twitch because he's able to do more. There's more flexibility. It's his platform. It's his stream, so he can literally do whatever he wants. He controls every single aspect, as opposed to if he was to be making different shows or different things and having to go to like a NBC or a BET or a MTV or whatever, and he's just paying for a fucking hour or hour 30-minute slot and going on like fucking broadcasting TV. But like I'm saying though, Kai has surpassed streaming, and it's just like a lot of people can hope. They can pray, they can think that they're going to do something to his stature, but you got to think, gang, this nigga has the assets, he has the money, he has the connections, he has the name now. Well, Ben had the name, but like this nigga has everything in his back pocket to pull off the craziest shit ever. And then a lot of people are going to try their best to replicate that. And it's just like, if you're trying to ultimately measure your content up to his, you're going to fail every time. I don't think you should be looking, I don't think niggas should be looking to Kai as I need to replicate that, because you're never going to replicate that. That nigga, what he did was transcended. What he's doing is transcending streaming. He's a once in a lifetime person to be in that space. You know what I'm saying? Like that's, call it what you want to. If it's glazing, but I feel like I'm telling the truth. Like I feel like if you're going into streaming today with the goal to be Kai Cenat, you're already going to fucking fail, because one, there's not gonna be another Kai. This nigga, like, you gotta understand, in certain lanes, certain niggas paved the way, and then they're going to be forever ingrained as that one thing, and anybody can become a close second. But in terms of becoming first and overtaking him, gang, you better off sparking up a fucking Rumble stream or some shit. I don't know.
For these IRL streams, and that is called clip farming. Now, to some degree, the entire point of live streaming is authenticity, because you're watching it all live. It's supposed to be real, you know. But
it's all right. I don't want to keep like I don't want to keep fucking pausing, but it's just like, we're here, we're watching the reacting content. We're not here to just watch the video. Stop bitching. Shut your mouth. It's supposed to be authentic, and this is one of the gripes that I have with streaming. Is just like, you can literally obviously tell, like, a lot of people, like, they're not even hiding this shit anymore. Streaming was supposed to be spontaneous. It was supposed to be authentic. It was supposed to be real, like a real life portrayal of other people's lives, but just so happened to be on camera. But these niggas are like literally saying words in your face, like clip farming and segments and scripts. Like, this shit is nothing but method acting. And there ain't nothing really wrong with that, but it's just like, I hate how people are hearing the word IRL streaming and they think this is real life, gang. These niggas are literally, they're in real time acting. That's all they're doing. You know what I'm saying? They're just real time acting. That's really what they're doing.
It's going to be raw and straight from the heart. But what happens when nothing that interesting is going on? Well, similar to reality TV, moments are scripted, curated, or forced. You could just be doing something funny, corny, extra, or even dangerous, and usually it's just jokes like FaZe Adapt, who pretends to be dumb for a funny clip on a stream.
Not for a while. I pushed it back this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What month?
I pushed it back to October this year, so like...
That's when your birthday is?
No, it's in June normally, but this year I push it back because everyone keeps calling me old, so I want the gap between us to get a little smaller. So I'm just
You
gonna
don't
push my
put. You
birthday
can't
back a
push.
little
But
bit.
you can't push back.
So typically it's not that serious, but it definitely can be when you get into higher stakes situations. Thanks to the rise of short form content and the new marketing strategy called clipping, streamers will try to either organically or inorganically capture live moments, usually just a few seconds to a minute, that are worthy of being reposted online. Clipping has made streaming significantly larger, and clipping essentially is just when individual streamers or companies working on behalf of streamers hire out contractors who repost different clips from streams on TikTok or other social.
Them niggas getting money though. Like them niggas getting money though. Like that's what a lot of people are saying right now. Like if you're too late to get into the content wave, if you don't got the drive, you don't got the patience, you don't got the, you know what I'm saying, the that oomph to you know what I'm saying, start from the bottom and grow your shit up. A lot of niggas would say they'll just be clippers. They're just gonna clip for the big streamers, because the big streamers, their names, they're going to get views. So you could literally grow a TikTok page today. I say if you started clipping for a Kai, for anybody who was in phase before, like Blackboy Max, or you clipping for any one of these top streamers, gang, I promise you, it probably take you about like a month or two before you get to like 15,000 to like 20,000, 30,000. As long as you stay consistent and you're getting these clips first, gang, you're going to get all the clicks, you're going to get all the likes, you're going to get all the views, and then that shit pays, depending on how good your clipping is, depending on how fast you are and getting this shit out and feeding the algorithm. Gang, that shit probably put some money in your pocket.
Clip campaigns, and it's the method that blew up Clavicular, a very popular streamer who you may be familiar with. For example, in March of 2026, Clavicular's clips got over 2.2 billion views from 69,550 videos posted by an army of 1,600 clippers. So basically, they hire out a bunch of kids in their mom's basements who sit on Premiere Pro all day and cut up little clips of the stream and upload them to TikTok. And as you can see on this chart, there are tons of streamers utilizing clipping through Kick, and plenty more that are not listed that are doing it themselves or working with other companies. These videos leverage diminishing attention spans, which practically solves one of the main issues that streamers are facing. So for a lot of people who can't stomach a full multi-hour long stream, there are endless amounts of clippers clipping clips to be viewed on TikTok and apps like it. Also, feel free to check out my video on clipping if you're interested. I go much more in depth about it and cover some crazy stuff. Regardless, nowadays streaming has clips, clip farming, and clippers. But what makes a good clip? Well, of course, it can be funny, it can be entertaining, it can be kind of crazy. However, a lot of modern clips have some element of rage bait, and this is where streaming gets a little more toxic. Rage baiting obviously isn't exclusive to streaming, but it is extensively common within the streaming world. If you don't know what rage baiting means, rage bait refers to content that tries to provoke anger or outrage as a means of gaining attention or making money. It has a wide variety of applications, whether you're messing around rage baiting your friends, you're rage baiting strangers, or some people just do it for the sick, twisted fun of it. In most cases, it can be lighthearted, but when it comes to streaming content, the stakes can rise pretty quickly. And usually what it is people just saying something ridiculous or offensive, or doing something ridiculous or offensive. That way commenters and viewers get upset, they interact with the video, leaving comments like, oh, this is so stupid, this is so ridiculous, this is so crazy, and then the streamer gets more attention, notoriety, engagement, and ultimately money from these clips. As streaming has continued to grow, especially the IRL stuff, some bad actors got in on the hype. I'm talking about the true cornballs, from clip farming to faked or excessive pranks to straight up harassment of the public for views. And again, it was far from everyone doing this annoying stuff, but it's
And see, and the shit like that, like niggas like him, that just like, that shit pisses me off. It's just like, my whole thing with the whole IRL streaming is just like, it's become this thing where it's like, if you want to succeed in streaming, specifically IRL streaming, because that's what this video seems to be based upon. If you want to be successful in the IRL streaming space, you got to be a rage baiter, you got to be a clip farmer, you got to be a serial harasser, you got to be a public nuisance. Now, in order for people to care about you, these are the things you have to be. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be that person that's just like you have no social awareness, or even if you do have social awareness, you just choosing not to give a fuck about it. You know what I'm saying? You don't give a fuck about the people in public space. You don't give a fuck about yourself. You don't give a fuck about the general vicinity. You're just doing whatever it takes to get that clip. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the reasons why I don't really like IRL streaming like that. I can't, like, some of it I can watch, but some of it just becomes unbearable because it's generally cringy. It's cringy as shit. Because why do you feel as though in order for the niggas in your chat to really care about you, to pump money in your pocket, you got to go out in public and be a dickhead? Why do you feel like you got to do that? And on top of that, it's not even just the streamer's fault though. A lot of this shit comes down to viewership too, because the degenerates. I don't even know how I want to say it, right? It's all of it is just funded by degenerates. Some niggas that will never do this a day in their life. They will never go out in public and be a nuisance. They will never walk out in public like this and just bump a random dude out of fear of getting they shit slapped off their head. You know what I'm saying? So you know what they do? They tune into a nigga like Jack Doherty stream because they know he'll do it because he walks around with fucking 3 big black ass security guards. You know what I'm saying? So they know he'll do it, but it's just like, gang. The only reason that y'all like doing this because y'all think that y'all would do this in some other alternate reality, in some other universe. You're tough enough to do this shit, but you know that you would never do it. So you know what I'm saying? You're tapping into his stream because you know he's stupid enough to do it. And you know how you reward him for that? By giving him your money. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these fucking viewers are not even over the age of 18. So I don't even be knowing how they be getting money to just be fucking gifting these niggas. I genuinely don't. Mom's credit card, dad credit card, something. I don't know. And if you over the age of 18 and you gift the niggas for acting like dickheads, it's just I just gotta look at you and I gotta question, like, do you not have money, other things that you'd rather spend money on? Do you not? Like,
controversy after controversy and an endless amount of headlines, which leaves us where we stand today. Early on in streaming, when gaming was dominating, you could argue the content ecosystem was relatively safe. That's aside from streamers getting swatted here and there, some slurs being dropped, but the issues we have today are extremely different and, in my opinion, worse. The phenomenon of IRL streaming has created a severe escalation, which was often seen in the YouTube prank or challenge videos back in the day, except this time it's with a live audience, which raises the stakes significantly. Like, people already act out enough when cameras are on, but when you toss in the fact that there's a live audience out there, and when it's out there, it can't be changed, that can get pretty serious. On top of this, streaming got significantly more toxic, in my opinion, when Kick entered the picture. The streaming service Kick was created in 2022 as a competitor to Twitch. It's backed by the gambling company Stake and was created to rival Twitch for the unique factor of looser moderation. They've been huge contributors to both clipping and also the rise of many controversial streamers. Like I said, there has also been a degradation of sorts in the type of content that's been going viral. This is because of algorithmic reinforcement, dopamine loop, and the audience effect. With algorithmic reinforcement, social media algorithms are designed to prioritize extreme, shocking, or emotional content. Because of this, the safe or normal posts stop generating engagement, so creators feel a lot of pressure to take bigger risks to stay relevant. With a dopamine loop, the online reward system of likes, shares, and comments triggers dopamine releases in the brain. So when a stunt committed on a live stream no longer causes the same level of reaction, users must escalate the behavior to get the same chemical high. And lastly, with the audience effect, sometimes called the online disinhibition effect, it can cause streamers to behave more recklessly in front of an invisible, validating digital audience than they would in real life. All of this has resulted in a large chunk of streaming culture becoming very toxic or even degenerate, for lack of better words. And I think a lot of this can kind of be shown off or culminated at Streamer University. Streamer University is an event put together by Kai Cenat, the top dog of streaming. Basically, it's a 3-day event where streamers, content creators, influencers, and many more stay at a university that Kai rents out. Some of the people who attend are already famous and some are up-and-comers. Not all of them are streamers, some of them are just entertainers or musicians or whatever, but the whole point is that they can learn how to stream and also make content in the process. There are classes where they can learn about streaming, but that usually doesn't end up becoming the focal point. Usually the focal point is whatever crazy shit they can do to create the most viral clips.
But I mean, at the same time, last year, I'll say I watched Streamer University more this year than I did last year. Last year, I was just like literally just feeding off the clips. So whatever, it was like literally, I was a bot. Just like y'all niggas. Whatever I seen on TikTok, whatever I seen on IG Reels, that was just so happened what I seen, and I had to run. That's the only narrative I had to run with. But this year, I watched actual streams. I tuned in. You know what I'm saying? I didn't just rely on clips to get to fuel narratives, to see what was happening, to see who's catching growth, who's learning shit like that. And I would say the teachers that they had, or the instructors that they had, the professors, they like people that actually succeeded in the content game, succeeded at the top tops of the tops of their lanes. They actually put niggas on game. You just gotta be open to listening. And like the overall experience for Streamer University is more than just going to some place for 3 days and to let's see how hard you can clip for them for 3 days. You know what I'm saying? Let's see who can produce the most clips. Yeah, you can go into it with that mindset, with that energy, with that mentality, but at the same time, that shit ain't gonna do nothing but burn out. Because ultimately, it's not even your viewership that you're ultimately getting. You got to think about it. When you're at Streamer University, you're literally a product of Kai. This is Kai's production. This is Kai's thing. You know what I'm saying? So these are his fans. This is his fan base. You know what I'm saying? Big ass fan base, and they're just watching every single person. But after this ends, gang, they're going back to the host. Literally, and that's why I said earlier in the video, it makes no sense. It literally makes no sense if you're going into this shit trying to be the next Kai, trying to replicate his success, trying to replicate his vision, his creations. You're setting yourself up to fail ultimately, because it's just not plausible. It's not possible. What this nigga did is already set in stone. You got to create your own shit. You got to create your own way. But to stay on topic, like with Streamer University this year, I will say, the professors actually had a message. You just had to be tapped in for it, and not just the overall content and getting clips aspect of being at Streamer University.
They're in IRL streaming and become actually dangerous. And this is far from the only instance. Just recently in Denver, a similar situation went down, which resulted in the creator and the random guy being shot.
Blood I'm bro. Blood I'm gonna do jail.
And if you think videos like these will help deter people from doing stupid things, think again, because you're being way too rational. I mean, there was a super viral incident a few years ago where a YouTuber was harassing a delivery driver and the guy just shot him.
Is a guy named Alan Coley, and he's holding a bag of food he just picked up at the food court at the Dulles Town Center in Virginia. At one point, the 31-year-old Coley shoves the phone out of his face. But the prankster, 21-year-old Tanner Cook, is unrelenting.
21 years old, harassing a grown-ass man trying to make money. And it's like you doing this, like, he's not doing this genuinely, you know what I'm saying? He's doing this because a camera is on him, gang. You know what I'm saying? You're doing this because, oh, like, if I could harass this man, if I could get him to act out a character, guess what? That's 1 million views on YouTube. If I can get him to act out a body and probably punch me or just get physical with me, guess what? That's 5 million views. They're doing this shit for views, and guess what? You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. You probably thought that he would just try to throw a punch. No, gang, I'm gonna shoot the shit out you. That's what he did. You're harassing this man, trying to DoorDash, trying to do his job, trying to make his money. What if this is the only way to make a living and you're fucking harassing him? Like,
Prankster never expected this reaction. A bullet fired into his stomach and liver.
The YouTube guy lived, and honestly, I'm kind of happy that the guy who shot him got acquitted, because this is what streaming culture, prank culture, Ray-Ban meta glasses, and the rise of short-form content has led to. Just obnoxious harassment of people in public. There are tons of small streamers out there who are just harassing people for the hopes of a viral clip.
In one of the videos, he's recording a woman while making comments about her private parts.
No, it's just ridiculous. It makes me angry. It makes me my blood boil.
We spoke with a man who's been raising awareness on his social media page, South Bay Responders, which,
like, I'm telling you, and it's unfortunate that, because this is not, let's not, I'm saying, be naive. This is not every single IRL streamer. This is not every public live streamer. Like, this is just a few. But you got to understand, we live in a society where the portrayal of the whole is led by the bad that we see on social media, on TV, on the fucking news. You know what I'm saying? An Instagram live person, and they're calling him a live streamer because he's on Instagram live, fucking cold, what is it, catcalling? Yeah, catcalling women on the strip. Now that gives a bad stigma to the word streamer, live streamer, when this is not even the same platform that we talking about. But yeah, that's the gist of the video. It's your boy RushMoreRick. If you enjoy the reaction content, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Remember, we're on the road to 500 subscribers.